The other thing that I wanted to delve into was this one article that you had written about uh, how conversational AI versus search, right? This whole hockey stick growth that,
Right.
how search is getting disrupted with conversational AI. Do
Right.
you believe in the next decade or so, search will completely get transformed with conversational AI? And how would the world look like with conversational AI dominating? In fact, you've written there saying it's almost giving sleepless nights to Google that Microsoft has got there, right? So therefore,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So this was something I wrote about, in, I guess it's just a little more than a year ago,
yeah,
after the emergence of ChatGPT, where I said that, I point to the fact that sometimes technologies get disrupted, right? And that search had been improving steadily,
mm,
slowly and steadily over a long period of time, and Google was the dominant player in search. Bing was like a distant number two, right? So, um, and what happens in markets like that, and so search is sort of becoming mature, but there's a framework called the Innovator's Dilemma by
mm,
Clay Christensen, right, which describes
correct.
this really well, which is that incumbents get comfortable, right? That
Yeah,
and that they're catering to a market and they forget to see a threat
yeah,
that is emerging that might be a lot inferior, but it appeals to some people, and then it suddenly starts appealing to the entire market.
yeah,
Um, and that's the way conversational AI sort of emerged. It emerged as a tool, right? It got people's attention,
mm,
and it captured people's imagination, and suddenly that was the buzzword. And so, why do you really need search?
yeah,
Boring plain search when
mm,
you've got conversational AI.
mm,
So yeah, I mean, and the ironic thing is that the architecture, this whole transformer architecture that underlies large language models was,
yeah,
developed at Google.
mm,
Uh, but Google was like too slow to actually capitalize on it, whereas OpenAI, being this, much more, much smaller, company with no liability, was able to sort of release it into the wild
mm,
and actually have people play with it. And it was brilliant for Microsoft to have taken a large stake in this, because Microsoft couldn't have done this
yeah,
by themselves, right? I mean, their previous attempt at a chatbot was a disaster.
yeah,
Um, they're not that kind of company.
mm,
Whereas, through OpenAI, they could do it, without incurring any kind of risk. But to come back and sort of answer your question and bring it full circle, yeah, I think going forward, we'll probably see search, traditional search, more or less disappear and
mm.
be replaced by, a much better intelligence in the form of sort of conversational AI.